I am almost 50 years old, and I can honestly say that I made a lot of good financial decisions over the course of my life. But there's three financial decisions that I regret not making sooner. And I believe that it has probably cost me, honestly, thousands of dollars, maybe a million or two, a lot of money because I procrastinated and didn't make the decision to jump in with my 2 feet and just get it done. And the first one that I want to go over with you guys in this video is I regret not investing in the stock market early enough for retirement. Now, it is very, very important if you want to be able to set yourself up financially for the long haul for retirement. You need to start investing early because you need to have time on your side. When it comes to investing, time is your best friend because money that you have invested in the stock market will grow in compound interest, and over the course of many years, you are going to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, I know that when I started working back in my early 20s, I remember my company that I worked for was recommending that we go ahead and put our money in a 401k. And I was like, oh, I didn't want to do that because my reasoning was that when you put money into a 401k or some retirement account, you aren't going to be able to get that money back out. And I didn't want to kind of, put myself in a bad way that would lock myself in that I wouldn't be able to get that money out. So what I did is I decided not to invest. And I'm telling you, I wish I would have started earlier because now that I'm 50 and I'm looking at retirement in the next 20 years, I'm going to have to play catch up, and I'm going to have to, and I am right now putting more money into saving because I didn't do it early enough. And my thinking about not being able to get the money out of my 401k is actually true. Because if you do pull your money out in your 401k, you're going to pay a lot of penalties. In fact, many years ago, my wife had a small 401k through the company that she worked for, and it was only a couple $1,000s. And we were like, you know what? We're not going to keep it. It's really not worth anything. So we cashed it in, but we paid a good penalty on it. So keep in mind when you do invest in the stock market, it is for the long haul. And yes, if you pull it out, you're going to pay penalties. But one thing I do tell people is that you can actually invest in what we call a Roth IRA instead of a 401k. A 401k is simply a retirement a vehicle through the company that you're working with, and they match, maybe a percent of 50 cents on the dollar or whatever it is, or dollar for dollar match up to a certain percentage, maybe 3, 4, 5, or 8%. Well, when you do that, you're getting free money. And it's great to be able to have that company match. But the other way you can do it is you can do your own, like I said, a Roth IRA, where you put after-tax dollars into your own individual account. And what's nice about that is you can pull that money out with little to no penalties because it's the money that you put in. One thing I will really, really encourage you not to do is do not invest on your own through like apps like Robinhood or any of those applications that you can do, because here's what happens. You typically do not have somebody managing it for you. You're actually managing it yourself, and you're trying to buy and sell. But what you want to do is you want to get with a tax professional that will manage your account. And what's going to happen is they're going to manage the mutual fund where your money goes into, and they're going to buy and sell at the right time, and they're going to be able to make way more money than you're going to be able to make on your own by trying to invest on yourself. So I recommend getting a stockbroker. Call a broker in your area, ask them what it costs to get invested in the stock market, and get started. I know a friend right now that is about 23 years old, and they have $35,000 in their 401k as of now. Now, here's the beauty. If they stop contributing in their 401k right today, and they let that grow till 59 and a half till they retire, that money is going to be worth somewhere in around the $400,000 range. So think about this. 23 years old, started working at about 20 years old in the marketplace, invested 3 or 4 years and invested heavy, invested a lot of money, has 35,000. And if they stop today, they will actually have over $400,000 when they retire. So here's the deal. Don't do what I did and wait. Start early in investing in the stock market as soon as you can, because time is your friend. All right, so the second mistake that cost me thousands and thousands of dollars in my life is that I didn't start a business or I didn't start a side hustle early enough in my life. When I was in my late 20s, early 30s, I didn't want to be bothered with the responsibility. I didn't want to sit in an office. I didn't want to have a lot of paperwork. I didn't want to have to beat the bushes. I didn't want to have to work extra hard to go out there and have a business. But I'm telling you one thing, I have regret that now, that I didn't start it earlier. Because what I found out is that when you're in a business and you go ahead and have your own side hustle or your own side money or your own side business or even a full-time blown business, you actually can make way more money. Because the bottom line is you are in charge of everything. You're in charge of bidding the jobs. You're in charge of going out and working with the clients. You're in charge of making the money. And the bottom line is when the money comes into your business and your account, you can spend it the way you want to. Nowadays, it is way easier to start a business or a side hustle than any other period in history, because we have the internet. We've got eBay platforms. We've got platforms where you can sell courses. You can do rideshare. You can do Uber. You can deliver Amazon packages. There is so many ways that you can earn extra money if you just want to put in a little extra work. And here's the deal. You can do it in the evenings. You can do it on weekends. You can do it anytime you want. Now, here's the benefit. You can actually keep those profits. And here's what you want to do. When you get a business or you get a side hustle, you want to be able to take that money and you want to put it in a separate bank account. That money is only business money. That money should not be money that you live on, or you go out and buy a new boat or buy a new car or have a new hobby. Because what you want to do is you want to take that business money and you want to reinvest it into business, and you want to grow your business. And if you're ever wondering how to start a side hustle, all you have to do is look at the gifts that you have. Look at the things that you can do well. Look at the things that you love to do and that you could monetize it. So the other day I talked to a client. She was in her small little kitchen. She was frying up a bunch of chicken, and she told me she was working on a meal because she was going to go ahead and cater a meal to an event. And she had a little baby that she was taking care of. She was working in a little kitchen. But the bottom line is she was using her gifts and she was using her talents and she was monetizing it and she was making money. If you listen to my channel anytime here lately, you might have heard me say that my wife and I had an awesome side hustle raising puppies. When my son was 8 years old, he wanted to get a dog. He wanted to get a pet. And I said, okay, we're going to go ahead and get a pet. We're going to get an animal, but this animal is going to have to go ahead and take care of itself and pay for its own meals and pay for its own vet bills. And how I did that is I decided that we're going to raise golden doodle puppies. And the fact of the matter, we may have had 10 to 12 litters of puppies, and our litters ranged anywhere from 8 to 13 puppies in a litter. And the bottom line is we sold them anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000. And the awesome point about that is that put money into my own pocket. We put an addition on the back of our house and we paid cash for it. Now, the third and final thing that cost me a lot of money in my life was having a car that cost me too much money that I didn't need. It cost me a lot to maintain it and to run it. In fact, it was actually a Cadillac Escalade. So back in the day, my wife and I had some young children, and we got a GMC Yukon that we bought, good price, and it was a great family vehicle. We took it on trips, and we did a lot of traveling with it. But when it needed to be replaced, we actually got a Cadillac Escalade. And I loved the Escalade look and everything, but I tell you what, I didn't realize how much it was going to cost to maintain it. Parts were expensive. When it came to tires, the tires were 22-inch tires. The brakes and the rotors were expensive. And just overall, it was always kind of nickel and diming me. And I'm telling you what, I had too much car I actually didn't need. I thought it was cool. It was a great looking vehicle. I could pimp around in it a little bit and made me feel good. But the bottom line, it cost me a crazy amount to maintain it. Now, I didn't have a car payment, which is something that I would advise you guys not to have a car payment, because cars always go down in value. My Cadillac Escalade went down in value because vehicles are not an investment. They are a tool to get you from point A to point B and get you home again. And I'm telling you, you don't have to have an expensive vehicle to do it. Now, I know everybody does, but the bottom line is everybody is broke and everybody is tied in to a vehicle payment. Most of my friends, most of the people that I talk to have a car payment, because here's what happens. They want a newer vehicle, but they can't afford it. The price is too high. So what they do is they go out and they put it on payments and they finance it. But the bottom line is the car will cost you more in the end, or in the long run, because you're going to pay a lot of money in interest. Now, for me, I never bought a car or a vehicle that I had to finance. I only bought a vehicle that I could actually pay in cash, because I knew it was going to lose value, and they're expensive enough, and I'm not going to pay the bank. And one thing I've learned many years ago is that, you know what? People really don't care about the car that you drive. We may think that everybody cares about it. We may think that everybody's looking at what I'm driving and it makes us feel good. But you know what? Everybody's busy with their own life. They really don't care what we drive. So it's only for us. But you could be losing a lot of money. So think about what for vehicle you have right now. Is it costing you a high payment? Is it costing you a lot to maintain it? Is it nickel and diming you? And take those into consideration. And if it is, it's time to sell a vehicle. And the vehicles that I would recommend are going to be your Japanese brands. It's going to be your Toyotas. It's going to be your Hondas. It's going to be your Nissans, maybe your South Korean cars like your Hyundais and your Kias. Those vehicles are tried and true. And the thing is, you can get a car that has 100,000 miles on it, and they're still good to go because they only break in at about 100,000. So don't make the mistake that I did in buying too much vehicle or too much car than maybe you actually need. I didn't need a Cadillac Escalade. I didn't need a pimp around and anything like that. But I wanted it. But you know what? I paid for it. So don't make that mistake. Get a car that you can easily afford, and I'm telling you, you will be way further ahead in life. So hey, let a link in the comments below on what mistakes you have made in your life that cost you thousands of dollars, or let a comment below on what you would like to know that would help you get ahead in life when it comes to side hustles or making extra money or maybe budgeting or whatever. We want to go ahead and help you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to be coming out with new videos every week, maybe multiple times a week, and we want you to be able to be informed when they're coming out. So subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next video. Peace and prosperity.